Socks on, and we're ready to go.
I got no socks on, so no
Don't.
feet. Welcome to podcast 3.
Welcome to
Let's
podcast
go.
3. Fishing for the moon.
We saw it on your channel, so they don't know you.
They
I'm
know
Leena, if you didn't know. If you
She
didn't
was-
see anyone anything else, I
She's
guess.
in the first 2.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, let's go.
Yes.
I'm a consistent feature on this channel.
Yes. So today's topic of discussion is mental health and burnout.
Yay!
Expectations and burnouts.
Experience.
A mental health episode.
Oh my gosh, that title kind of goes hard.
I have to leave the title.
Expectations and burnout. A mental health episode. Are you burnt out right now? Let's be real.
No, I'm okay right now.
You chilling right now?
I'm chilling right now. I haven't cried because of school yet.
Yeah?
Not yet.
That's not good.
Eventually, but like, not yet.
Dude, honestly, I feel like... I haven't cried either.
Yeah. So far, school's been okay.
So far, so good.
I think because I've adapted my study habits for this semester, everything's a lot more chillax.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my prof for bio gave us some study tips on how to review and stuff. So I've been doing that after every lecture for all of my classes.
Ooh.
So I think that really helps.
Yeah, because I feel like it's important for, like... It's hard for people to make that shift into university, especially if you don't know how to study.
Yeah.
Like,
so,
actually study.
yeah. So after, like, a whole year of school, I feel like I know what helps.
Mm-hmm. I feel like for me, I finally have reached like a course load that matches like kind of similar to IB. So it's like the type of like there's so many things happening you don't have time to feel, so you just don't get burnt out. Because I'm taking 4 courses and I'm taking one of the courses has a lab, but then the lab feels like a course when it's not actually a course because you have to prep for it. So it feels like 5, but it's realistically 4. So there's no time to think about anything else except for it.
I think for me, usually after having one very, very productive day, the next day is just like me being super tired and not wanting to do anything else. Like, I'll be like, oh my god, today was so productive. Tomorrow, same thing. Wake up early, get started on work. The next day, I want to sleep and I don't want to do anything else. And so that's when like the burnout starts, I feel like, is after like a really, really productive day.
No, actually, same here. I feel like after, because I was like monitoring how many like productive hours I was having, and then I noticed that for every big day, it would be really small. Like the next day, it would be not less productive. Yeah, but I feel like then it's really important to like schedule like good like study sessions, not to study too much in the day, because that definitely, I feel the exact same thing.
So that's why I kind of have like a full break day. But my break days are usually, I go to work in the morning and I come home and just do nothing.
That's
my break day.
That feels like a
It's
good
not-
break though.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like some people would say it's not a good break. In my perspective, as someone who doesn't leave the house, it's a great break. Because
Yeah.
you don't have to like really think or be worried about anything else. You're just chilling.
It's like an 8-hour shift. I'm just a pharmacy.
Oh.
So that's a break, right?
Yeah, just chilling in bed after that? Or would you say going to work? It's also
my
a break.
My break is like coming home from work.
Hobbies are definitely good for chilling like that. I feel like for me, I think I just draw. If it's like a long day, I feel like that's my like hands-on thing, no thinking.
Yeah, I'm not good at drawing.
But your nail art's really good, so I
Yeah.
feel like that's like a...
It's a good way to cope. I used to do my nails every month because I didn't have time. But since I've been like doing work consistently and I have time, I've been doing them like once a week.
Ooh. Switching it up.
Last week I had nail extensions, but then I have to take notes for a class next week and I didn't want long nails. So
Oh yeah, because they mess up.
yeah, so I got rid of my long nails. It's just more efficient. I found that I like my short nails now.
Short nail gang!
Short nail gang.
Let's go!
But next semester, if I don't have to type, I'm having my long nails back.
Mm-hmm.
miss them.
I'm always particularly short nails when I'm looking at them. Because then you can also, you don't have to use like the flat ends of your fingers, right? Mm-hmm. The flat ends of your fingers.
Fingertips.
Your fingertips. Yeah, I feel like that's a good way of like managing stress, is having other stuff. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to actual like emotional things, I feel like dark humor is really where it's at. Among this generation too, especially.
Yeah, it's funny.
Dark humor is definitely it for me, because I use dark humor every like.
Because I think just being able to accept that you're not doing that good emotionally, but still trying to make it funny is like how to cope.
This is how we cope. Dark humor. Next one, cry. Would you say you have like
a lot.
Oh wait, this connects to the one below. Do you have a healthy relationship with your like feelings, like crying and stuff? Like, do you cry, like, do you feel better after crying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say so. Well, actually, no, I don't. Like, I accept that I'm not feeling the best, and I'll start crying, and I'm like, this is good, I'm getting my emotions out now. Mm-hmm. I'd rather do it now than, like, in an exam. So, like, I take the time to cry, but then after, I'm like, I'm still stressed. So it kind of didn't really help.
Yeah.
Because it didn't help me to do anything to cry, but I'm like, it's nice to get those emotions out.
Yeah.
But I used to never cry because I never got burned out until grade 12. And that's when I actually started like being in touch with my emotions. Worst flip of the switch ever. Like, I used to be like the happiest person ever.
Yeah.
And then I like sat down and like actually reflected how I felt in situations. Mm-hmm. And I was like, damn. Okay.
Damn.
What am now?
Oh god.
And now like I cry a lot more often now.
Do you feel like you're the type that like wants to cry on your own, or like wants to be secluded, or do you don't really care? Like,
I want to be by myself.
You want to be by yourself when you're crying?
Yeah, because when people see me crying, they tend to like, oh, are you okay? And then like trying to make me feel better, and I don't want that. If it's like burnout, I don't want people to be around me.
I don't think you've cried around me though. I don't think so. Because if you did, I would be giving you the opposite of what you said you didn't like.
Yeah.
I would not be saying, are you okay? How do you feel?
You'd stop laughing at me. No, like every time I start crying or something for like the dumbest reasons, I'll take a picture of myself and send it to Leena in hopes to get her to laugh. Because Leena laughs when people cry.
Okay. Pause. We need
not because she thinks it's funny, it's just because she doesn't know how to react.
Yes, there we go. I feel like I've gotten better at it because now I've reduced it to smiling only. So that this is crazy for anyone seeing this who does not know me, but I reduced it to smiling because for me, it looks absolutely insane without context. But for me, like, I've never been in a place where like crying and stuff was really acknowledged, being as, oh, that's a negative emotion. It was kind of like, oh, they're crying. It's like, how do I explain? My household wasn't like, oh, like, I'll give you a reason to cry. Not that one. It would be like, oh, is someone dead? Are you bleeding or any bones broken? Okay, then there's no reason to cry. So then there's like that type of. So then whenever someone was crying, but it wasn't considered like justified, it was considered more of like a, what is going on here? So I just end up, I don't think that made any sense, but that's the only way I can comprehend someone crying with that negative emotion. If someone's being upset, even lashing out, do not look at me because I will be smiling.
What is that?
Without context, yeah, that's. But then I do offer like rational solutions. It's not like I'm just sitting there laughing at you.
Yeah. You need time to think about how to react before you can actually react.
Yeah. Like I can give you I can probably, if you're crying, odds are I can I'll make you laugh. This is like if someone's crying in front of me. Mm-hmm. I'll A, make you laugh, and B, give you like an actual like solution. But if you're crying just to like because you know some people are like, they'd rather feel acknowledged rather than have a solution. I can't help with the other one. I don't think. That's why I let other people. Those are the people who are like, hey, are you okay? Like those are the people who really step in. And that's why I'm like, okay, you can do that. But if you need like a solution, I'm here.
I think as of right now in this semester, the only time I've cried was watching like a K-drama.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was like a car crashing scene, and then it cuts to like her visiting her dad at a cemetery.
Oh.
And so I was like, oh, this is sad. He's not even alive anymore. Why am I crying? And then the next time, this is all like within like 3 or 4 days ago. The next time I cried was yesterday watching Cars.
Wait, which one?
I was like, damn, I haven't watched this in a while.
Like Cars indifferent today. Have you watched that one? It's like a really popular music video, like the one with IU and the V, the one that's the sad one.
Mm-hmm.
Did you cry at that one?
I didn't watch it.
You didn't watch it? It's sad. It almost got me. I'll be real with you. It almost got me.
Because she's deaf, and he's.
No, I think he's. Oh wait, maybe she's.
Yeah, she's
too.
deaf and he's blind.
In one eye.
Mm.
It was It was like I'm like, this is emotional for what reason? Oh my gosh. Yeah, but when it comes to crying, I guess that was like more of the approach of how I deal with other people crying. For me, I'm same with you. I don't want to be around anyone when I'm crying because
It's embarrassing.
cringe.
The only time where I'm okay with people like watching me cry, if this is for like a stupid reason.
Mm-hmm.
And I think because I was supposed to be on my period soon, that's why I cried at Cars.
Oh,
Because the
yeah.
last time I was like crying because of a movie was I was also on my period and I was watching some other child show, children's movie. I cried at the Lorax.
You just wanted those trees to be saved, dude.
Yeah.
Respect.
And I was like, damn. No, I don't know if it was the Lorax. Shrek?
Shrek,
I
yeah.
cried at Shrek because I love that movie.
Magnum opus. You should cry at it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When I look at the Mona Lisa, I shed a tear.
I think I did cry at
Kung Fu Panda?
Yeah.
So which part? Was it the part when he was talking about... Was it the Master Uwe scene? Or was it the part when they're talking about noodles?
Definitely. No, I don't remember. It was a while back. It was like a couple years ago.
That's the only parts I remember from Kung Fu Panda is Poe's dad talking about noodles and then the Master Uwe scene. That's all I remember from Kung Fu Panda. Huh?
Noodle, don't noodle.
Yeah, crying at weird stuff's fine, but I feel like crying unironically I feel like, have you seen like the videos that are just like, oh, me when I'm having a mental breakdown, but then halfway realizing it's cringe, so you stop? I feel like that's a good way to put it, like what it feels like when you're like crying or whatever at something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, like when I was first acknowledging my feelings for things, like in grade 12, I started crying because I was like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing with my life. I don't know how to do this problem. Like, school is hard, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd be like, I'm wasting my time crying. Get back to work.
Yeah.
Same with sneezing. I sneeze a lot. Like, in a row. I sneeze a lot in a row. And at one point, I was really stressed because I had like a final exam. But it was also allergy season.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a bunch of dust in my room.
Oh,
And like my windows
gosh.
open because it was getting too hot, and so like the pollen was getting in.
Yeah.
So I would be non-stop sneezing, and then I'd start crying because I was wasting time sneezing.
Because your sneezes go like for a good second. It's not like you sneeze and recover. You're like sneezing.
It's like 5 or 6 times.
Mine just sounds like an earthquake. I don't think you'd heard me sneeze. Like full on allergy sneeze. No, it's like an earthquake. And you'll hear it. If you're in this house and you're at the opposite end, you'll hear me sneeze.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Even during allergy season, it was just, do you have a reacting?
Oh my gosh, I would forget sick in the morning. I was like, Danielle, do you have a reacted, please?
It's just like,
can't breathe out my nose.
Everything's congested.
Yeah, I feel like that overwhelming feeling definitely, because that's what I would attribute that to. like because you don't have time to like because you're sneezing all the time, like that overwhelming feeling. Definitely.
Like just don't be allergic, man.
Just be better,
Be
dude.
better.
You have the
Stop
ancestors to
sneezing.
live with this. What are you talking about?
Not every day you get to complain about sneezing.
You know, I was gonna have a side point. Did you know that like asthma and stuff, it gets you, I think it's like you can't go on deployment or you can't join a certain branch of the Canadian military if you have asthma. Do you know it's also the same for eczema?
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So if you're like,
So I was thinking, my thought process was, I'm like, if you're in like a crazy war thing, are you even thinking about the life expectancy, like for that long to get an infection from your eczema, or are you thinking about, the short? Because I'm thinking like, for some reason, World War I, and it's like the 2-week life expectancy for like the planes. So random.
wait, you can get out of military by having asthma?
Yeah, so you know what? It's like mandatory enlistment. They won't let you in. Or I don't know if it's mandatory enlistment, but it's like right now. But there's certain things that make it so you can't join. Like if you have if you need an EpiPen, you cannot join.
Oh, because then if
Yeah.
you are allergic to peanuts on the field, then you get shot by when you're done.
Yeah, if someone loads their gun with a peanut. Game over, dude. Oh my gosh.
Anaphylactic shock. Now, what did that guy eat for lunch? You can't have MREs.
His rations were spicy as hell. Dude. He's on the ground.
We're having too much fun with this.
Yeah, dude. What can I say? It's an example of that dark humor, no?
If you're allergic to peanuts, skip the military enlistment.
Yeah. Maybe not, especially for that. I don't know if it's the same case for mandatory enlistment. I feel like, given the political state of the world, everyone's talking about enlistment right now.
Dude, imagine if you're Korean. You need to do that mandatory, 2 years in the army.
And then, World War breaks out?
And then you have a peanut allergy.
Oh,
what are you gonna do?
Well, I don't know if it's the case for in Korea, but Korea also has, some, exception policy or criteria for that, too, I think. 'Cause for some, it's, you do public service if you have a certain, injury. And I don't know if it's, and then maybe it's also fully, I don't know. It's a lot of random trivia thing to know, but anyways.
We do after burning out? Sleep.
I love sleep. Oh my gosh, I love sleep.
Sleeping is so good. If you're not getting 8 to 10 hours of sleep per day, what are you doing?
Put yourself on that, dude.
I'm putting you on sleep, dude.
I'm putting you on that nice 8 hours.
Have you ever slept 8 hours before?
Have you slept and woke up feeling refreshed? If not, put yourself on that.
Sleeping for 8 hours is so nice. I can't eat. I go back to sleep because it feels so good.
It's a luxury, dude. It truly is a luxury to sleep, and feel refreshed afterwards.
I don't understand how people can be awake past 12 doing work.
Yes, brain's not working after 12.
It doesn't work after 12. So
At all.
How are you studying? How are you doing that?
Is this probably the circadian rhythm of a 93-year-old? Maybe, but I like my 8 hours.
Hey, it's good for the body. It's good for processing information. So I think the reason why I haven't burnt out yet is one, because of the reviewing, the study habits, and two is because after a certain time I go to sleep because if I'm up later than that, I might forget everything else.
Oh yeah. Exactly.
So your brain needs time to process everything you've learned. So that's why you need that time when you're sleeping to have your brain process information. So that's why it's good to sleep, because then you'll actually know what you're doing in an exam.
Yeah, your cognitive function ends up getting impaired if you don't get enough sleep the day before. So you're the ability to choose the right multiple choice, that guess, that gut feeling, that's not going to be at its best optimal state, I guess, if you're sleepy or sleep deprived. That's also the same thing goes for when you're browsing on social media too. Like, can you really study after 4 hours on like Instagram Reels? Probably not, because it reduces that attention span. You get used to that attention span. And can you sit down and study for an hour? I don't think so.
Do you have a screen time on your phone?
I do.
What's your screen time?
That's a good question.
Or limit.
Oh, I don't have a limit on my...
I turned on my app limits recently because during the break I turn it off. But when we start school up again, I turn on my screen time for social media because I don't want to be on my phone for 8 hours a day. So I have a 2-hour limit per day for all social media. So if I use that up in the morning, scrolling through Instagram Reels,
yeah,
you know I'm going to be working at night because there's no way. Like, it's such a bad habit to like be on your phone all the time.
and it's so bad for you. But you know what my biggest complaint right now is your phone has now become like an extension of you. So it's like, it's not even the case that you can really choose. And I know in some places people don't have access to the phone and their whole like society is kind of isolated in the sense that like no one, it's not like really needed. But like for example, for the Western world, if you want to say it, if you want to talk about North America culture or even Western culture in general, it's so mandatory. And what annoys me is that it also demands your time. Like for example, compare it to like a phone call or like sending, or even something like sending a mail, letter in the mail or whatever, right? You're not expecting a fast like reply, but then there's like the case that on social media you'd be like, hey, hello, why aren't you responding to me? Hello. It's that you feel you need to respond because your phone has become an extension of yourself, but like that shouldn't be the case because that's so bad for you that that's like you're dependent on that.
I was just learning about this in communications.
Oh really?
Yeah. Like, media is basically taking the form of like everyday people.
Yeah.
Like it's so like popular now that everybody has to have it or else you're like culturally illiterate.
Yeah, I would say culturally illiterate or even isolated, because networking's also through social media now too. Like all your events, all those planning, it's all through Instagram, even LinkedIn. Some people consider LinkedIn social media, I'm sure.
I just made a LinkedIn yesterday.
Yeah?
Cool. Shout out to my communications professor. You taught me well.
Hell yeah. Shout out to you. I messaged my sister, I was like, oh, Danielle's gonna go for her communications one. And she was like, oh, really? Because she majored in communications, right? She's like, oh, Godspeed to any STEM kid who wants to take communications.
I only took it because one of my business friends wanted to take it with me. And
Yeah.
then I enrolled, and I was like, are you taking it this semester? And she's like, oh, no, I'm not. I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh.
And then I somehow wrote Melissa and Leanna into doing it with me.
Yeah, I feel like it's a lot of reading. A lot of reading and a lot of writing, right?
Yeah, no, this one, he shaped it to have, like, no writing assignments.
Oh.
It's just, like, writing exams.
Oh, so it's like in-class essays and stuff?
Yeah. So, because he doesn't want us to, like, use ChatGPT or, like, any AI.
Oh.
And he wants us to actually understand stuff. So he's not going to make us, like, do a writing assignment. Because it's just, like, unnecessary.
Oh, because I guess it's kind of like, there's no point because of AI.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So that's why he's doing, like, in-class writing essays, and then our exams are also writing.
Oh.
And, like, a good portion of our grade is conversations in tutorial, conversation leader assignment. We pick a topic from something related to the week before, and then we, like, basically talk to our tutorial about what do you think about this, and giving them prompts to answer like a question, and like having a back and forth like conversation with them. And it's an assignment. We talk to each other as an assignment, and it's amazing.
You communicate as an assignment.
As an assignment for communication.
That's like interesting though. I feel like for some cases there's also like software to detect AI as well, but then AI is always changing and evolving. Did you hear about the Neuralink? It's not AI, but it's like Elon Musk's Neuralink chip. It's like basically it's in the attempt to, I think, move to telepathic communication and or like treatment for paralysis, but it's an actual chip that goes into your, I don't know where exactly, but it's somewhere in your head. But yeah, they were like testing it, and then Elon Musk is behind it, so he's pretty like, I guess, ambitious in that sense. But it's like, imagine that though. But imagine like you have, there was like a video about it. It was like clearly satire. It was just talking about like me when I'm trying to fall asleep, but then there's ads playing in my head from the Neuralink chip, like on repeat. But I'm like, what if it gets to that's how much you cannot escape it? Is that it's in your head, you know?
That's crazy.
It's kind of scary thinking about it.
How do we find motivation to keep working? We don't. Jokes. I don't know. I just don't want to be behind. I don't know. It's not like my mom or my dad is like putting pressure on me to do anything. It's me putting pressure on myself. Which gets into our other topic of like our pressures from the family members. My family was never pressured to like do work all the time. I mean, they did. They were like, oh, have you done this? Have you done it yet? Like, you should probably get on that. But their expectation of me is low. not like, oh, she's not gonna do anything with her life or whatever. But it's like, she can do it herself. She can do whatever she wants as long as like she's happy with what she's doing for her job. Like, make sure she's like making a good living, and like, but they're not choosing my life for me. So that's why I feel like I have the motivation to do it because I get to choose what I get to do.
Yeah, I feel like eventually after a certain point, I feel like parents end up like letting off of all of the pressure they're putting you in like high school and stuff, or even like younger grades to like make sure you're on it, because eventually they realize, well, it's really up to them to really go from here. Because I find the same thing. Because it used to be a lot more like, get on it for me, but now it's like, okay, so what's your plan? So it's kind of like what you have really in store. So that motivation kind of comes from you in a sense, but I feel like the best motivation kind of comes from proving someone wrong. I feel like that's what I like to angle it at. Even if it's not really the case, that's what I like to angle it. Because if you have like a clear goal of proving someone wrong, that motivation from that is probably the strongest I could find.
Yeah.
Because there's always one of those like, you can do it, oh my gosh, just try hard, you know? But then I feel like if you're trying to best someone, or like at least best their judgment of you, that's like number one for me, at least.
I don't have that kind of luck. I usually like, yeah, I'm gonna get an A in this class, and then like I get hit with something during the exams, and then I don't get an A, and I'm like, just once, please.
I feel like also having like a vision, like a mood board. You see my I have little.
That's a mood board?
I guess it's just photos or like pictures of stuff, just like stuff that when you're studying, because it's hard, especially if your career path is like a really long one, or at least what you're interested in is like it's projected to be one that you're in school for a long time. It's easy to lose that motivation and become burnt out. So I feel like just looking and being like, okay, That's the goal. I'm not there yet, but I'm gonna get there.
Mm-hmm.
Is a good way to think about it too.
We kind of talked about that last one. Issues with people being chronically online.
Yeah, I feel like there's some pros of becoming chronically online though. I say that as someone all like extremely chronically online on Twitter. I feel like there was one thing on Twitter. It was like how to explain that the king is gonna become the next Trisha Paytas baby to anyone who's not chronically online.
Mm-hmm. If you don't know, you don't know.
If you just don't know, yeah, if you're out of the loop, odds are it's because you're not chronically online.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it also depends on how long. I feel like if in moderation, yeah, we already talked about it pretty much. It's a social media thing.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the same thing.
If you aren't understanding like certain popular language, then you're basically you're not understanding the language.
Oh yeah.
It's like if you're not online, you're missing out on like so much because you're not gonna understand anything.
I saw Stuart Hall on that. I studied that in English.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's an insane scholar, dude.
Yeah.
He was talking about, I think, for mine, it was a different piece. It wasn't that one specifically, I don't think. But it was talking about the presentation of identity, cultural identity. It probably could be attended from like that specific piece, but it was talking about how it's like it's not static, it's dynamic, but so many other like influences come in that you just can't really even, if you were to hold it, it would go through your fingers. You can't really hold something as like identity or culture. So just everyone's in a different place.
Yeah. Just talking about encoding and decoding, like just media overall, is saying like if someone is encoding something, which is like any communication, like you as the audience or you as the receiver, has to somehow decode it to understand what the person was trying to say.
Yeah.
Because everyday life, you're going to be like decoding, you're going to be trying to understand someone's code. So like anything that anybody says, you're trying to understand. And it's saying that because everybody's like on the media, on social media all the time, if you miss out on a part of like a trend or any type of thing that's said on social media that gets like slightly popular, if you don't understand that, you're not going to understand a lot and you're going to be like isolated from everybody because you don't understand how to decode something.
Yeah. That's an interesting take, yeah. Because communication, I guess it's not just one person saying something and the other person just like
gets it. Right.
Yeah. That's an interesting take. That's like, it's like a language barrier that's not because of just different languages. It's
because it's what you're understanding.
Communication prof is cooking with that one, dude. Oh gosh.
So cool. Like Stuart Hall's like quote for this, not for this reading, but I guess it was his reading, was you can promise that you can get the message to the audience or the receiver, but you can't guarantee that they'll understand what you're saying.
Yeah, there's only so much you can do as a responsibility as the communicator, which is just to try your best to encode something that's like able to be decoded by that specific person.
And there's always going to be haters. There's always going to be some people that aren't going to get it. So like
yeah,
like if I'm telling Leena, oh, that's a nice skirt today that you're wearing, some people will take it like, oh, she doesn't actually like the skirt, she's just trying to be nice. But then like other people will be like, oh, that's so nice of you.
Yeah,
that's such a compliment. But it's like the way you present it.
Yeah, that's like the same way they're like, oh, you look good today. Some people are like, oh, thank you. Some people are like, today? Did I look good yesterday? That's exactly what it reminds me of.
Yeah. Communications.
Hell yeah.
Shout
I'm
out
so
again.
happy for that.
Dependency to social media.
Oh, the next generation. So what's your opinion on iPad kids? Yeah, I feel like there's this crazy this whole like premise of us and versus them is like something that's like really like a basic form in all humans, right? So like if you even go back to like Neanderthal, if you don't, it's like a whole, there's us and then there's them. There's gonna be like that. And that whole like trait of, for like just being a human as like change, it's in everything, and it bothers me so much that generationally it's like almost an innate thing to be like, oh, but the next generation is all blah 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 blah. It's like for every single generation they complain about the other generations, especially the ones younger than them. And I feel like millennials, for example, the ones who are raising Gen Alpha, have been saying like it's, they're like, oh, like Gen Z blah 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 blah, but then they're like giving their kid an iPad, giving their kid a phone. So now we have like, have you heard of like the Sephora?
The Sephora kids?
Yeah, so they feel the need that they need to be doing all the skincare and stuff when their skin literally hasn't even touched puberty yet. So you have like fetus skin. You literally have no like.
You don't need any of it.
You have no sebum in your skin. You just don't have it, and so they have like a.
They're destroying their barriers.
Yeah. And oh my gosh, I feel like it should be some sort of, and then there's also teachers in schools saying like these kids aren't learning anything because of their whole dopamine fix is adapting to the ones online. So they'll learn something in like a 4-second video and they'll take it and they'll run with it, but they can't sit in a 20-minute class and learn anything.
And classes are like 15 minutes at least.
Yeah. So they can't learn really much from a lesson. So I feel like the whole premise of what a lot of Gen Z are saying, they're like, let's not raise our kids like that. Because I know for a fact that
I'm excited for the generation after.
After
that's
Alpha?
gonna be our us raising them.
Yeah.
Not us, but like our generation raising them.
Gen Z raising them, yeah.
I feel like Gen Z know what we're doing.
Because you can learn from experience, right? I feel like that's the biggest thing. For example, like the reason why millennials give those things to their Gen Alpha kids is because they say, well, we weren't allowed to have this when we were younger, so we're going to give everything we weren't allowed to our kids without any say. They also are the ones with the super strict parenting. So I think they were the kids, some of them were the kids of what, late boomers, I think, and maybe Gen X too, and maybe if there's one in between, probably that one. Like for them, if they got strict parenting, now there's the whole thing of soft parenting. Do you remember that one? It's like if the kid's doing something that's really like naughty or whatever, they'd be like,
they're just kids.
Yeah, it's like, oh gosh. So there's some interesting like personalities that are being cultivated with the combination of that, combination with like an insane dopamine exposure every single day. So we're just gonna see how it plays out. But yeah,
Kids are weird.
kids are wild.
They're insane.
What I'm interested in seeing, well, not interested in seeing, well, no, I am interested in seeing it, is, you know how we talked about burnout, we talked about social media things, it's kind of when you just are with, I guess, post or in your, like, teenage hormones, and the whole, like, insecurity, because that's usually when your insecurities develop, because you become aware of other people, you become aware of yourself when you're a teenager, how that will be different with the Gen Alpha kids, because they were quite literally, as soon as they were born, they already had like iPhones, iPads, and all around them, either being on or whatever. It's like they had consistent videos being played without advertisements. They've had advertisements that haven't really been needing to explain that they're advertisements, which is also something too. It's gonna be interesting. I don't know how like their mental health's gonna play out with that.
No, but I feel like they're gonna use mental health as an excuse for everything.
Oh, you think so?
There's like mental health days now. You can technically call in sick if you're like mentally unstable. It's like a new rule now.
Oh.
They're teaching it in like education courses now. That's like if you give a child a bad mark and they say that it was a bad mental health day, technically they're allowed to redo an assignment, they're allowed to redo stuff because teachers aren't allowed to fail kids anymore until university.
Yeah, because they also abolished the whole like grade system too, and the whole final exams thing. It's
such a mess right now, honestly.
It's yeah, no, literally. Cause like how can you learn or grow if you are afraid of
Children.
if you're afraid of like the how can you make someone grow if you shelter them is kind of like the whole thing. Like there don't be extreme, don't yell at the or scream at the kid, no one's saying that, but like should they have a final test? Maybe. I feel like that's something important. Or even a test in general that has like some sort of quantitative scale, not like a sticker of a mark. Because they have like some weird scale now.
Yeah.
Mental health!
Mental health and talk about generations.
Hell yeah.
So we didn't film an outro, or you didn't say bye or anything, but I'm here to say bye. Bye! See you in the next podcast. Thanks for listening. If you're watching this at night, have a good night. And if you're watching this in the morning, have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye!